Hello guys, welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we have a three-way race again, and I just wanted to update it because I hadn't done this video in a bit. Plus, I think some of my thinking for Trump as a third-party candidate has changed because, I was assuming the last video I did of this that he would get like 20% of the popular vote. I think more realistically he'd get like 15%, just because I do expect like some voters of his to eventually realize that DeSantis has a better shot and is leading more in the polls than Trump is. Although there could be a scenario where DeSantis supporters jump to Trump because Trump's doing better than DeSantis in the polls. So we could see a shift of either Trump getting in second or DeSantis getting in second, and those voters shifting towards either one of these two candidates. But I think it's more likely they're going to shift to DeSantis, who is the Republican nominee in this scenario. So let's start off with the safe blue states. And there's a whole lot of them. There's a lot of them that are just over 10% safe blue because there's two Republicans splitting the votes, two conservatives. So they're really not a lot of districts are going to be, or states are going to be a lot of competitive. Specifically in the swing states, you're likely going to see them just go safe blue, like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. These states are swing states. They're not even going to be competitive because there's two Republicans running at once on the same ballot. Now, we're not getting into the complicated part where there is some states that have sore loser laws. We're just assuming every state here lists Trump and DeSantis on the ballot in this hypothetical. So I think we're almost done setting up all the safe blue states. Oh yeah, Arizona as well. It really wouldn't be that competitive. But I think we set up all the safe blue ones. So we're going to do the safe red states. And one of them is Utah, just mainly because even when Utah has a third party candidate running in the ballot, we look in 2016 and Trump still won by over 10%. So honestly, it's not going to be competitive enough either side. DeSantis will probably easily beat Trump in this state. Plus, Mormons just hate Trump here. Same with Idaho, which I see as a likely red state. Same with Wyoming. It's not because of the Mormons. I don't think there's a lot of Mormons in Wyoming. I just think they're more likely to back the Republican candidate. And the Republican typically wins here by 70% of the vote. So honestly, I think it'd just be another safe red state. It'd be fairly confident. It's probably going to go towards DeSantis. Okay, in Alaska, I'm going to put this as a likely blue state. And I looked up how Alaska's ranked choice vote works in presidential elections. And I'm not sure it really applies to presidential elections, honestly. If it does apply, then I see it as a lean blue state because of ballot exhaustion. Even though the GOP candidates have more votes, like Trump and DeSantis combined would have like 52 to 54% of the vote. I think through ballot exhaustion, because people wouldn't rank their second choice, they just forget about that in Alaska at times. Through ballot exhaustion, Biden could win, but in the case of ranked choice voting, I'm pretty sure it does not apply to presidential elections. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but for now I'm going to put it as a likely blue state because of two conservatives on the same ballot. So Nevada would also be a likely blue state, almost over 10%. And honestly, let's do the math here. Yeah, I think it would be a safe blue state, just doing the math in my head here. Ohio, Georgia. Georgia honestly could be a contender of safe blue. North Carolina. Even Iowa would go towards Biden, and this state really hates him. North Dakota and South Dakota. I'm not sure which one's more Republican. I think North Dakota is. But I think both these states would be likely red. It'd be competitive between Trump and DeSantis. Those would probably be the top two candidates there. Okay, let's go to the first Trump state. West Virginia, hands down, he has this state on lock. And honestly, neighboring Kentucky as well, he would do very well in coal country in Kentucky. It would be competitive between DeSantis and Trump, really. And Biden's just there, probably in around second or third place, depending on whoever just gets the lead here for the conservative candidates. Tennessee would be very competitive between Trump and DeSantis, but I think Trump would narrowly edge him out here. Same with Alabama, but I think DeSantis would win this state. Arkansas and Oklahoma, these states would go to Trump. I really think he'd be very favored to win in Oklahoma, probably by a safe margin even. And Arkansas I see as a likely Trump state. I just think, just based off how well Trump has done here in the past, I think Oklahoma's a sure bet that go for Trump, and Arkansas, it'd be a lot more competitive, but I think it'd be a likely Trump state still, even with Trump at 15% of the popular vote. All right, Nebraska at large, I think it'd definitely be a likely to be competitive between Trump and DeSantis. Well, Nebraska's third. I could see in the rural areas Trump doing decent in Nebraska's third district. However, in Nebraska's first district, I think it would be a lean R district, while Nebraska's second would be safe blue. Now we're just down to a handful of states. Texas would be a likely blue state, surely. Montana would go lean blue. Same with Kansas and South Carolina, because Trump only won the state by 11 points. He only won Kansas by around 14 points and Montana by about 15. But with a vote splitting going on in Kansas and Montana, I think Trump would definitely enable Biden to flip these two states narrowly. Now we're just down to a few more states. So, in Louisiana and Mississippi, I still think DeSantis be favored to win both of these states. I just think they'll probably end up going towards DeSantis eventually, because I do expect third-party candidates to lose support as they get closer to the election. So you could see Trump go from 20% in these states to even like 15 to 12% of the vote, just because they'd rather vote for the Republican nominee who has more of a chance at winning. Missouri, it's a hard one, but in Indiana, I could definitely see it going towards DeSantis still, but it'd be very competitive. This is the one chance that Biden has at winning it, but I still think would go for the Republican nominee. Florida, and honestly has a very big urban center in Miami-Dade, plus Democrats are actually turn out this election in a presidential one. And there's two conservatives splitting the vote in the state of Florida, so I think Biden would definitely be favored to win this state. In the state of Missouri, Trump won the state by about 15 points, and I still think it would go to DeSantis, but only by a tilt margin. Be very competitive between Biden and DeSantis because of Trump running in the state. I think Trump could get very large margins here. Do you think a lot of his base is in the state? But then again, I think some support would shift towards DeSantis as election day nears. And DeSantis get a very narrow victory in the state of Missouri. So in total, DeSantis wins about 9, 10, 11, 12 states, while Trump gets 4, and Biden gets the lion's share of the rest. So Biden wins an electoral landslide of 435 electoral votes. Trump has the best third-party performance of any third-party candidate in the Electoral College since about 1968, which was the last time they actually won a state. And DeSantis gets a very poor showing overall, but he still gets second place. So that's my election prediction for the three-way race. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.